In this video, I am going to answer one very important question. Why do we have only 4 seasons in a year? You know, spring, summer, autumn, and winter. You probably think it's just because the Earth is tilted on its axis, and that's what makes the seasons. And that's actually not quite right. It's more complicated than that. We have 4 seasons because of our perception of how the Earth's orbit around the sun and its tilt on its axis combine to affect the weather. But at the same time, these effects aren't directly tied to the actual astronomical events. So why don't we see more seasons? Well, let me explain. Let's start off by talking about why the Earth has only one moon. Okay? No, that's a trick question. The Earth actually has no moons. Well, okay, yes, it does have one moon, but it's the only moon. Our planetary neighbor, Mars, however, has 2 moons named Phobos and Deimos, and scientists believe that these 2 moons are actually asteroids that got captured by Mars's gravity long ago. So if the Earth had 2 moons, would we still have only one moon? Yes, we would still have only one moon. That's because moons are identified based on their orbits around planets, not their physical properties. So if the Earth had 2 moons, they would both orbit the Earth, and we would still call it one moon. We wouldn't have 2 moons, because a moon is defined as an object that orbits a planet. And since they would both orbit the Earth, we would still call them one moon. So if the Earth had 2 moons, would we have different phases? No, we would still have the same phases. The reason why the moon has phases is because of the way it reflects light from the sun. So if the Earth had 2 moons, they would both reflect light from the sun, but we would still see the same phases because the moon doesn't emit any light itself. It only reflects light from the sun. So even if the Earth had 2 moons, we would still see the same phases. If the Earth had 2 moons, would we have higher tides? Actually, we already do have higher tides due to the gravitational pull of the moon. So if the Earth had 2 moons, we would likely see even higher tides. The gravitational pull of both moons would cause even more water to be pulled towards the Earth, resulting in higher tides. Okay, now let's talk about why we have 4 seasons. As the Earth revolves around the sun, different parts of the planet receive varying amounts of direct sunlight throughout the year. This is due to the tilt of the Earth's axis, which is approximately 23.5 degrees relative to the sun. This tilt remains constant as the Earth orbits the sun. As a result, the angle at which sunlight hits the Earth's surface varies, leading to differences in the intensity and duration of solar radiation received by different regions. During summer in a hemisphere, that hemisphere is tilted towards the sun, resulting in longer days and more direct sunlight. Conversely, during winter, the hemisphere is tilted away from the sun, leading to shorter days and less direct sunlight. Spring and autumn are transitional seasons that occur when the Earth's axis is perpendicular to the sun. During these seasons, both hemispheres receive equal amounts of sunlight, leading to moderate temperatures. However, the number of seasons we perceive depends on how we define and categorize the transitions between these climatic conditions. In some regions, the change from one season to another is gradual, making it difficult to draw a clear distinction between them. On the other hand, in other regions, the change is more abrupt, resulting in a greater perceived number of seasons. The 4 seasons we typically experience are based on average weather patterns and can vary significantly from year to year. For example, in 2016, Texas experienced record-breaking snowfall, while California faced the worst drought in its history. These variations highlight the complexity of seasonal changes and the difficulty in predicting weather patterns. It is worth noting that not all cultures around the world recognize or experience the same number of seasons. Some cultures may identify 5 or 6 seasons, while others may not categorize the seasons at all. For instance, in Japan, there's a traditional division of seasons into 4, including spring, summer, autumn, and winter. However, each season is further divided into 3 subseasons, resulting in 12 seasons in total. Similarly, in China, the traditional calendar recognizes 24, providing a more detailed understanding of the cyclical changes in nature throughout the year. These different perceptions of seasons reflect the diverse ways in which humans have categorized and adapted to their natural environment across different cultures. It is fascinating to explore the various cultural perspectives on seasons and how they shape our understanding of the natural world. Each culture has its own unique way of categorizing and experiencing the seasons, which provides a rich tapestry of traditions, customs, and beliefs associated with different times of the year. For example, in many Western countries, spring is often associated with new beginnings, growth, and the renewal of life. Summer is seen as a time for joy, warmth, and outdoor activities. Autumn is celebrated for its vibrant colors, the harvest season, and the feeling of cozy introspection. Winter is embraced for its beauty, the winter holidays, and the sense of community and togetherness. On the other hand, in many Eastern cultures, the seasons are often viewed differently. For instance, in Chinese culture, each season is associated with a particular element and has its own unique characteristics. Spring is associated with wood, symbolizing growth and balance. Summer is associated with fire, representing warmth and energy. Autumn is associated with metal, signifying balance and harmony. Winter is associated with water, representing introspection and stillness. These different perspectives on seasons not only reflect the diverse natural environments found around the world, but also the unique ways in which different cultures perceive and interact with their. The number of seasons we recognize is ultimately a human construct influenced by our cultural norms, historical perspectives, and the specific climatic conditions we experience in our region. While the Earth's tilt on its axis and orbit around the Sun remain constant, our perception of seasons can vary widely, reflecting the richness and diversity of human experience across different societies. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like. Also, if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe so you don't miss out on future content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.